Greetings and thank you so much, whoever is listening to me. This is Pastor Asaph here, the leader of Rest Assured Fellowship, Jinja, Uganda. I recorded this video in appreciation of what Dr. Tara has been doing, helping different people to deeply connect with Scripture, most especially looking at the Bible as a big story where we pick bits of the story to try to bring about its meaning. I really want to emphasize from my point of view. For example, I am a Bible teacher that has been helping many pastors in our country, most especially village pastors. But this is an initiative I try to develop myself, not from the theological school, but studying slowly and trying to follow up events as they come up in order. I happened to land on Genesis 12, which actually I also heard Dr. Tara use on her message, which they put on the audio Bibles we received. And I wanted to put some kind of insight or addition to what she did. In Genesis chapter 12, I realized that God makes a call to Abraham. And in this promise, he talks about two things. That is creating a nation out of Abraham and blessing it, then other nations to be blessed through Abraham or all the families of the earth. When you move to Genesis chapter 22, when Abraham was to slaughter his son Isaac, an angel of the Lord comes to him and he reminds him of God's promise. And in this message, the angel tries to bring out what exactly God was trying to mean. That through Abraham's seed, other nations would be blessed. So to me, I was asking myself, how did this happen? So in Galatians, as I read Galatians chapter 3, verses 16, unto Abraham and his seed were the promises made. And when they tried to define the seed in Galatians chapter 3, verses 16, it was actually Christ. So I said, wow, which means blessing other nations will come through Christ. So I went back to Genesis 12 to try to follow up the promise. And actually, I came to realize that God will first of all fulfill part A of the promise of creating a nation out of Abraham and blessing it. Then later on, other nations to be blessed through Abraham's seed, which is Christ. So Abraham gave birth to Isaac, and Isaac gave birth to Jacob. Jacob gave birth to the 12 sons who were taken to Egypt through Joseph, and who were led out of Egypt through Moses or by Moses until he handed over to Joshua. Then these children reached the promised land. Joshua died, and God gave them the judges. So during their last judge, who is Samuel, these children asked for a king, and God gave them Saul. At receiving a king, Israel became a kingdom, hence a nation. So I realized God's promise to create a nation out of Abraham comes to pass at this point. So I kept on following what happens after Israel became a nation. So I continued following until uh, Israel was divided into two kingdoms, the northern and the southern. You remember what happened to the northern kingdom, and we were left with the southern kingdom, which was actually taken to captivity in Babylon, where they stayed for 70 years. Then they returned to their homeland and waited for a promised king until the coming of Christ, who was to be their king, actually. So all this is part A of the promise, creating a nation out of Abraham and blessing it.